Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Live Confidently Autistic, the live stream, formerly known as the Confident Autistic live stream. We rebranded it. Hey, welcome in. It's Thursday, October 16th, 2025. If you're watching this live, say hello in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. I may give you a shout out. Tonight's topic is going to be the 10 pet peeves of autistic adults. I am the Confident Autistic. I'd like to welcome you into the live stream, and we'll be getting into the actual conversation here in a moment. But let me tell you a little bit about myself. If this is the first time you are watching one of my videos. Welcome to my channel, The Confident Autistic. I am a multi-certified life coach specializing in confidence building. I am a digital creator, and I am proudly a late diagnosed autistic adult. My real name is Chris Mitchell, but I go by the Confident Autistic. So thank you for joining us this evening. Looking forward to the interaction. So let us know, let me know where you're from and, um, what's going on in your world tonight. And we'll just go from there. Now, a few things I'd like to bring up to speed with you. We have been away. I've been away. I'm from doing these live streams. So, you watched this before. You've seen me do these things. And we are back. We've had a lot going on in my life. A lot. Oh man, boy, do I. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. And let me fix something here. There we go. Sorry about that. What, by the way, what do you think of the new theme that we have, the new opening? And let me know in there. I've been away. I have had a lot going on in my life, a lot of things, personal, medical going on, but I'm juggling three medical things, and one of them have been cleared up. You may have heard a little bit of rumors from me that I had to go to St. Louis, which I did, and I had to get checked on an aneurysm, which I have, a man-made aneurysm, because I had a birth defective, a constricted aorta, and I was told it was 5.2 centimeters. When it gets over 5, it gets dangerous. 5.5, it's time to do something about it before that bad boy breaks open. So I got to St. Louis, found out what's going on. It was actually 4.2 centimeters. So not the danger zones. I was very happy to hear that. It has grown from 4.0 to 4.2. So I'm clear of surgery for the time being. Woohoo! I'm very happy to hear that news. Let me check what's going on here in the chat here. Uh, all right, Autistic Jenny, thank you for checking this out tonight. I appreciate it. I checked out one of your videos the other day. Loved the video. For right now, my brain is having a brain fart, and I can't remember what it's about. But it was a really great video, and I did comment on it, so it was very helpful. Oh, I think it was about shyness versus autism, and it's one of those things that needs to be talked about a little bit because of the fact that are we shy? Or are we autistic? Or a little bit of both, and I've always thought I was shy, but I knew it was more than shyness, sort of like Autistic Jenny's story in her video. And if she's watching right now, I'm going to let you do something. If I think I set up to do this. If you want to put a link to that video into the chat here, I'll let you do it. I won't say a word. I saw nothing. So yeah, you can put that in there. It was a great video. And it's something I think people need to know about. And I'm glad you did the video, even though now I really can't do a video on that for a while because you done one, but that's okay. This is not a competition. We're all working together as digital creators who are late diagnosed autistic adults to help others embrace their autism. Let's see what else is coming here in the chat. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm glad I'm okay too. Thank you very much. It was a very nervous time. We thought it was 5.2 for almost a month and a half, and that was very nerve-wracking. And I'm going to have some questions. I don't live in St. Louis. I live in the southwest corner of Missouri. And I'm going to have some questions for my cardiologist here who sent me to St. Louis thinking it was 5.2 centimeter aneurysm, and we're gonna ask the questions. I want to know what's going on. I want to know why that happened. So let's see. Thank you. Yeah, a great video. And let's see. Oh, sure, I can. Oh, yeah, well, I'll probably do a video on that. Yeah, I probably will. Okay, let's get into tonight's video, and we're going to get into the top 10 pet peeves of people who are autistic. So let me get my screens where I need them to be because that makes life easier for me. All right, here we go. Get this up here, and bam, boom, and here we go. So it is, in case you did not know, this is National Pet Peeve Week. And I thought this would be the perfect time to talk about something we can all relate to, the things that drive us absolutely up the wall as late diagnosed, self identifying, or those who suspect they're on the spectrum. But these are not just any old pet peeves. Today, we are going to dive into the top 10 pet peeves of late diagnosed autistic adults. The things that most people who are not autistic don't get, but they're pet peeves of ours. Because for us, these are not just little annoyances, what I'll be sharing with you. They can be huge triggers for sensory overload, anxiety, or just plain frustration. So before we begin, let me ask you three important questions. Are you in your sensory friendly space? Excuse me. Do you have your favorite comfort item nearby? I do. I got my needle ball. And have you minimized distractions? If you said yes to those three questions, great. Let's dive in. And I would love to hear have you share your biggest pet peeves in the comments when we're done with this, whether you're watching live or afterwards, put those in there. And as we go through these, let me know these pet peeves are yours, okay? And we'll talk about those. Number 10, you don't look autistic. Oh, this is a pet peeve for people. I mean, this really is. It's really meant. It is a classic one, and it really is meant to be a compliment. When people are saying that, they're trying to compliment you, but it's not really a compliment, and it doesn't. Because autism doesn't have a look, so you can't tell someone is autistic, or someone's neurology that is from their face or their tone of voice. When people say you don't look autistic, what they often mean is you don't act like the stereotypes I've seen or heard about. And that's exactly why representation of autistic adults matters so much. Because we come in all kinds of expressions, communication styles, and energy levels, including mine, which is pretty high energy. Now, those society may frown upon this, and you can risk making someone very angry, angry enough to hurt you. You could respond with, and you don't look ignorant. But if you do that at your own risk. You do that, I'm not responsible for what happens to you, okay? But I do kind of have a smart mouth, and I do like to blurt things like that out. My wife says I don't come with a filter. So that was number 10. Let me know if that resonates with you. Love to know if that's something that you have struggled with or dealt with in your life, to hear those kind of comments and see what's going on there. Okay, we have something here in the chat. Let me take a look here. Mr. The hubby is hungry. I'm going to try to come back and watch this live stream later this evening. All right. Yeah. Hungry hubby, you got to feed. I love being fed. I'm a husband. I love being fed. So go feed your husband. Okay. So let's get to number 9 here. Number 9 is loud chewing, tapping. I don't know if the mic's picking me up, tapping at my table here, or clicking. And I wonder if I have one of these. Like clicking a pen. There we go. Yeah, that's another one of our pet peeves. It is. And let's dive into that one about the loud clicking and tapping and chewing. So loud chewing Gum popping, oh, I hate gum popping. Pen clicking, for some of us, those sounds can feel like someone is poking our brain with a very pointed stick. So when neurodiverse people do what neurodiverse people do not understand is that we are not being picky or dramatic when we say these things bother us. What we're experiencing is called misophonia, or sensory sensitivity. Sensory sensitivity is easier to pronounce and spell. When our senses are already on high alert, even tiny sounds can feel overwhelming. So, if you wear headphones, even at dinner, trust me, you're not being rude or antisocial. You are surviving. While we were in St. Louis, we stayed at a hotel near a hospital. I'm not going to say names. And we ate at the restaurant there. Wonderful service. Lily took great care of us. Anyway, but I had my blue, they're different than these. They're Bluetooth, they don't have a wire. I had my blue headphones on the entire time we were having dinner to help manage the noise in that environment. Restaurants are noisy, but I wanted to have that meal with my wife there. And it's fine. Nobody really said anything to me about it. Nobody asked. And if people give me dirty looks, I don't notice them. I don't really care. So it was so don't feel ashamed if you need to wear headphones in public places because the noise gets too much for you. I do it, and it's actually showing you're confident that your self confidence is high, and that you're proud of being part of the autism community, and you're helping others learn about autism. Now, people may ask you why. That's when you get to explain why that you're on the spectrum, and that can help somebody else understand other people and make well, I don't want to say make like forcing, but it helps others in our community totally understand autism and be more accepting to autistics in our society. So that's what I want to say about that one. That's pretty straightforward there. So let's move on to number 8, which is unannounced visitors or surprise plans. Oh, this is one of my pet peeves. Probably not my biggest one, but it is one of my pet peeves. This is one that's big. If you show up at my door unannounced, this is true, okay? You might meet my closed blinds instead of me, if you are lucky. See, we autistic adults often thrive on structure and predictability. So when someone surprises us with, "Hey, I'm in the neighborhood," it can feel like our brain has short circuited. In my case, I feel like I've been invaded, like in a war. I mean, somebody just invaded my turf, and I just don't like it. Now, when this happens and we react to it, we are not being antisocial. We just need time to mentally prepare. Please, if you want to visit somebody who's autistic, this is for our allies. And you can share this with anyone that you know that may stop by. Give us a heads up, and you'll get a much happier, calmer version of us in most cases. I can't speak for everybody. Now, one of my biggest pet peeves is when solicitors come to my door. It causes me so much anxiety, and without knowing they are coming, I do not know what to say to them. I don't have a script prepared. And the script that I do have, excuse me for that burp, the script I do have prepared is really not all that socially friendly. I mean, like I mentioned, I have a smart mouth, and they could be telling me something. And I said, ooh, that's really fascinating. Why don't you continue telling me that later when I'm not here? I have a smart mouth. So I just don't know what to say to them. And I become very uncomfortable, which leads me to being rude to them. Not to mention the safety factor these days. Let's be honest, okay? I have a Ring doorbell camera. I've had that for years. In today's world, it can be a little frightening to open up the door, whether you're autistic or not knowing who's on the other side. Okay, and so and that only adds at least to my anxiety. I don't know about you. If it does, share that in the comments. Now, my solution is a no soliciting sign that is near my front door, and for the most part, it works. It has become pretty handy. Uh, I have thought about getting a sign. I seen it on Amazon, and I meant to get the screenshot together for you guys. I didn't. My bad. But basically says before you ring this doorbell, please know that you'll be charged $50 per minute to talk about your political views, to sell me something, talk about a religion, whatever. $50 per minute. And as soon as you ring that bell, you committed and agreed to that contract, and it must be paid up front. I love that sign. The other sign that I saw that I liked was we already know who we're voting for. We already have met Jesus. We don't need to buy any more magazines, a whole list of things that solicitors usually say at the door. So it's those are my ways that I would deal with it. So if you get bothered by unannounced visitors or solicitors, how do you handle that? Share that in this chat. Now I'll take a look at the chat in a moment. So let's go ahead and why don't I just do that now? See if there's anything in the chat. Nope, nothing new. Okay, that's fine. Feel free to comment whenever you want to. I'm okay with that. So let's go ahead and get here. There we go. And let's get ready for number 7. Mandatory fun and group small talk. Now, this is more relevant for people who work at a business, especially when we talk about the mandatory fun. But let's dive into this. You know those awkward team building activities, the forced fun events at work? Yeah, most of us dread these kind of events. Now, for most of us, it's not that we dislike people. It's that small talk and surface level socializing drains our batteries fast. We would rather have real conversations, one with depth, curiosity, and authenticity. And anyone who knows me will tell you I stink. I totally stink at small talk. I don't like it. I don't do it well. It's just not a good experience. For me, I get uncomfortable in conversation both the time, but I don't mind if to the point. If I ask people questions. What are you doing to? Well, I don't ask this because it's small talk. What are you doing for dinner tonight? I really don't care what you're doing for dinner tonight. You probably don't care what I'm doing for dinner tonight. Why even mention it? But if I ask someone, what's on your schedule for Wednesday, next Wednesday? I don't need the whole list. Okay, just give me the highlights. Well, at 10:30 I have a meeting and at 2 o'clock I have a meeting. Okay, that's all I need to know. Well, I was going to get up around 7 and take the kids to school. I don't need that. Get to the point. Okay, that's just me. Another thing I hate, and this goes in the line of small talk, and be prepared for this if you go to work tomorrow. People are going to say to you, "Hey, it's Friday." Now, again, I told you earlier, I have a smart mouth. And I'm always tempted, and in some cases, I've actually said this to people, tell me something I don't know, genius. I worked at Target many years ago, and my job was being a cart attendant and bringing the carts in from the parking lot and putting them back into the big cart area, which we called the cart corral. And my front lane supervisor told me the cart corral is empty, and I looked at it and said, "No kidding." It just flew out of my mouth. Yeah, I still had a job. It was Christmas time. They needed help. They had to put up with that. Okay. So, like I said, I do have a smart mouth. Now, generally speaking, autistic people like you and me are more comfortable when others skip the icebreakers and talk about something meaningful instead. Because small talk, the thing about the Beaver small talk, we may do a live stream on this. It's this. Um, I never know what to say. I don't know what they're expecting me to say. I just don't. You want up there? My cat's down here, and I think he wants in the window. You want to come up? You gonna come up? Okay. Well, you figure it out and let me know. Okay. We'll deal with that later. Okay. Anyway, so I don't care for small talk. We have to get him on camera one of these nights. Is he up there? Nope, he's not up there. Okay. We have to get him on camera probably next week. I'll tell you why in a moment. Don't go anywhere. You're gonna love that announcement. Anyway, so skip those icebreakers and talk about something meaningful. And additionally, this is a my end. I have always hated group projects, group activities. And when I was in school, and still to this day, I try to run and hide when I'm expected to be in a group project or group activity. They just make me so uncomfortable. All these people around me talking, all the noise, conversations, figuring out what I need to say, how people expect me to respond. I hate group activities. I'm a one-on-one type of guy, okay? That's just me. That's just who I am and deal with that. So let's go ahead and let's do this. Okay. So we got rid of, whoops, I'm hitting the wrong buttons here. Okay. So we got through, I gotta do this. Okay. Back. Okay, there we go. Screens are going weird. That's just me. Don't worry. I'll get better at this, trust me. So we're up to number 6 or down to number 6, whichever way you want to look at it. I don't care. Okay. So we're at number 6, and number 6 is bright lights and strong scents. If you can relate to this being a pet peeve, put that into the chat. Okay, love to hear if this is something that's a pet peeve of yours. So let's talk about this pet peeve. Dive into a little bit deeper, that is. Fluorescent lights. Now, fluorescent lights don't bother me that much unless the room's really quiet and I can hear the buzzing of the light. Most of the time I can tune that out, but the buzzing light does get to me. I know it gets to some people. Sometimes the brightness gets to me. I was in the exam room, my cardiac surgeon in St. Louis, and I had my, they're not in here. I had my sunshades on, and my wife said, when he comes in, you should take them off because it looks a little bit disrespectful. And she's probably right, but the light in there was so bright. Fluorescent lights. Anyway, fluorescent lights, perfume clouds. Now, that's a big one for me. I'm not calling anyone out. But ladies, you do not need to bathe in your perfume, okay? Because it is, and I sometimes would cough because I have a twisted lung from the perfume smell, and and it bothers me, and I have to remind myself it would be rude to say something to someone, which we're going to do a live stream on dealing with interacting with people. I'm getting off topic here, but be brief. There's been some things going on in my life where people have done or said stuff to me that bothered me, offended me, troubled me. But apparently, saying stuff to people is considered socially rude. And I'm struggling with, and we'll do a live stream on this. Why can't we just be authentic? Why do we have to have this masquerade of being rude? Why can't we just be honest with one another? It's something I'm struggling with, but we'll talk about that another week. But getting back to the bright lights and strong scents, fluorescent lights, perfume clouds, those scented candles that could knock out an elephant. For people, autistic adults with sensory sensitivities, these items, the fluorescent lights, the perfume clouds, and scented candles can be unbearable. Any of that unbearable for you? Share that in the comments. Sensory overload isn't just about being fussy. So when you talk about sensory overload with somebody, you're not being fussy. What it really is about, it's about how our nervous system perceives input. If the lights are too bright or the smells are too strong, our bodies react like it's danger. Now, for me, it maybe not danger as much, but like nauseous, and I just want to get away from it. Okay. And I have that with food. Oh man. I love my wife, and I know she's probably watching this. Okay. And she knows what's coming. and my mom's the same way because my mom lives with us. So there's some food that they eat and other people eat too that has a smell, and I'm thinking, how the heck do you put that in your mouth? I just don't get it. But that's just me. Now, important thing to know is this: requesting or talking about, maybe dimming the lights, or not so much perfume, or let's not use that scented candle. It's an important thing to do, and that's called accessibility. Okay, making it accessible for people who are on the spectrum. And any accommodation is accessibility. But when we normally think about accessibility, most people think about ramps and elevators and sign language interpreters and braille and large print, those types of things. Okay. But it is also, accessibility is also softer lights, low scent environments, and understanding that sensory comfort matters too. And that's part of what accessibility is. Now, before we get to number five, he made it in the window, by the way. The cat made it in the window. Uh, Now, before we get to the other five, I want to pause here for a second and say, I hope that you're enjoying the content that I'm sharing with you tonight. I really do. And if you want more content like this, that's going to be breaking down what autism is, some of the terminology so you understand it better, helping you discover and develop and grow your self confidence so you can rise above challenges and live confidently autistic. I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. Okay. When you subscribe, please make sure you ring that little bell to be notified of when new videos go up and when I go live Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Central Time. Okay. We're going to have great topics like this, great conversations. You get to interact with me, and there's a whole bunch of fun stuff coming in 2026. I can't tell you about it yet, but it's coming. So please do that. And if you're ready to start your own journey of rising above challenges and living confidently autistic, I invite you to go to my website, theconfidentautistic.com. And at this website, you're going to find a lot more resources that will help you, blog posts, etc. But one of the coolest things that you will find at that is a resource called Live Confidently Autistic. It's a PDF. It's a 28-page PDF. And the 28-page PDF is free. It has reflection questions, and it will help you start breaking down autism and understanding it and starting your journey to discover, develop, and grow your self-confidence. So it's a free gift to me, from you to me. It's a free gift to you from me. So get that. It's free. Go check that out. If you don't like it, you get your money back. Remember, it's free, so there's no money involved. Just wanted to clear that up. So let's go back to our list of the top 10 pet peeves of autistic adults. And we left off at, we just did number 6. So now let's talk about number 5. And that is being interrupted mid-thought. Now, one of the things that I remember, I heard this on a radio show, and I'm sure it's a joke that's been around for a while. I heard it from a radio show called The Mark and Brian Show. It was been off the air for, I don't know, over 10 years. It was out of LA, and it was syndicated. And they did a joke in it, as an icebreaker joke, and it's really funny. And it goes, knock, knock, who's there? Betsy the interrupting cow. Betsy the interrupting cow. Moo! So, yeah, being interrupted. I don't know if that was really worth the time doing that joke or not, but that's okay. Being interrupted, let's talk about this during mid thought. For many of us, when someone cuts us off mid thought, our brain just poof, and the idea is gone. When I get interrupted by mid thought, by someone that I know, I feel disrespected and non valued. When I get interrupted by strangers, I feel as if I did or said something wrong, and I do not understand why. How do you feel when you get interrupted mid thought, or just interrupted at all and mid sentence? When somebody does, somebody who you know interrupts you, and when a stranger interrupts you, love to know how that makes you feel. And others may have the same experience. So be brave, say what you're thinking here, and let's get that conversation going. Now, what happens when we are in a conversation, and when I say we, I mean autistic adults, we need time to process and express our thoughts clearly. When we are interrupted, and I don't think this is just true for autistics, I think this is for anybody, but we're focusing here on late diagnosed autistic adults. Interruptions can derail our entire train of thought. And when we are interrupted, it is frustrating, especially when you work so hard to communicate clearly. You pick your words out, you organize them, you feel comfortable and confident in what you're saying. Somebody cuts you off, and bam, that could shoot down your self confidence. So, to our allies, I say, please let your autistic friends, family members, co workers, etc., finish their thought. You might be surprised what we were about to say. So share how you're doing on interruptions, how you react to them, and love to hear them in the comments area. So yeah, feel free to pop in there with those comments. Love to hear them. Now that we got through number 5, let's go and check out number 4, and that is being treated like a child. Oh man, I could talk about this for and for a long period of time. This explains a lot of my childhood, actually. Okay, so this one really makes me angry. It does. And it hurts more than anything else probably on this list. When people assume that being autistic means we're childlike or less capable. The truth is, we're not childlike, and we're not less capable. We're just autistic. We pay bills. We hold jobs. We have relationships, and we lead meaningful lives. Autism is a lifelong neurotype, not a limitation. We might communicate or process information differently, but that doesn't mean we're not capable or intelligent. And I want people who are allies to hear that. Okay, that's important. Now, for me, pretty much all through my school years, my public school years, maybe a little bit in college too, girls always talked to me like I was a young child, even if I was in the same grade as they were, and it really hurt. It did. It bothered me a lot. One of the things I hated the most, and that's probably why I did not talk to girls that much, was the typical reasons guys have not wanting to talk to girls, but that did not help anything. So to the neurotypical allies who are watching, please remember, respect goes a long way. Everyone wants to be respected, neurotypical and neurodivergent. Respect. That's all we're asking here is simple respect because it means a lot to all of us, every one of us. Like I said, autistic or allistic doesn't matter. Now let's get to number 3, masking to be accepted. Masking to be accepted. This is a big one. If you ever had to hide your natural self just to fit in, you know how exhausting masking can be. Masking is pretending to be what they consider normal to make others comfortable, and is one of the biggest reasons so many autistic adults experience burnout. Every time we mask, we use mental energy that we do not have. That's why creating spaces where we can unmask, whether it be at home, at work, or online, is life changing. If you are spending a lot of time masking, that's going to lead to burnout, okay? And you need to create that space where you can be yourself. Probably no one's going to make that space for you. You're going to have to do it on your own. You can do it, okay? Maybe we do a live stream on that in the future. Who knows? Tell me, while we're getting ready to go to number 2, let's get this up here. Number 2, tell me, have people talked to you like you were a small child? And how does that make you feel? And does masking drain you to the point of just wanting to go into burnout? And do you have a safe spot where you can be yourself, or people you can be around, safe people to be around that you can be authentically yourself? Share those in the chat. Now I'm going to check the chat in a moment because I know we're in a little bit delay. But in the meantime, let's start talking about item number 2, which is ambiguous instructions or last minute changes. And of the two, I think last minute changes are ones I really, really dread and hate. Now, ambiguous, I want to start by talking about this in ambiguous instructions. People would say to you, oh, just wing it, or we'll figure it out when we get there. Those words, those phrases can strike fear into the heart of any and every autistic adult. Many of us rely on clear communication and advanced planning, including myself. Okay, I don't like going places. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I don't have a program, a routine, what a structure. What's going to happen? What's going to happen after this? I don't like surprises. Okay, I'll be honest with you about that. So last minute changes to activities. Like, okay, we have a plan. We're going to go and see people on Christmas, whatever, holiday. And last minute, we're going to go and visit your Uncle Bob. I did not know we were going to visit Uncle Bob. That's the last minute change. It bothers me. I don't know about you, but it does me. Anyway, last minute changes or vague instructions make us autistic adults anxious because we need to understand the expectations before acting or engaging in any activity. Now, personally, I struggle with vague or ambiguous instructions, meaning if you are not specific when you give me directions, I will get confused and or frustrated. I do. You can ask my wife. Okay, so to our allies, and maybe I'm speaking for just myself, maybe every adult that's on the spectrum. The best strategy is to give your autistic friend, family member, co-worker, relative a plan, and we'll run with it like a pro. So you want us to do something, give us a plan, give us what we need to do, set the expectations. Without expectations, we really don't know what to do. At least I know I don't. Now, before we get to the number one pet peeve, before we get to that, I'm going to take a moment here and I'm going to hop over to the chat and see what's going on there, see what you guys have been saying. So let me go check that out. Okay, nothing new in the chat. That's okay. Okay, and maybe a little bit shy, maybe a little bit nervous. That's okay. No problem. Everyone is welcomed. Every opinion is valid here. And this is a no judgment zone, okay? And now, the number one pet peeve is being told to just relax or stop overthinking. That is probably the biggest pet peeve. Okay, so if we could just relax, trust us, we would, okay? Our brains, our autistic brain, process the world differently, sometimes in deep, detailed ways that we can't simply switch off. So, to our neurotypical peers, instead of telling us to relax, try asking what might help us feel more comfortable. That small shift in approach can make a world of difference. Now, there you have them, the top 10 pet peeves of autistic adults. Now, these are not just complaints, these are insights into how you and we autistic adults, experience the world. Remember, when we talk about these pet peeves openly with others, especially those that are not in our community, we help create more understanding, acceptance, and accessibility for autistic peers and for everyone in the world. And we do this while helping ourselves accept ourselves, which leads us to rise above challenges and live confidently autistic. Now it's your turn. Did I hit any of your pet peeves? Which ones resonated with you? Which ones of the 10 did I cover that you really feel the strongest about? One of your biggest pet peeves? Or did I miss one? Drop your pet peeves into the comments, whether you're watching live or you're watching this afterwards. Uh, and we may do a follow-up video on this, okay, featuring your pet peeves on a future video. So I want to thank you all for checking in tonight. Let me check the chat again. Get that screen up there. There we go. Okay. Thank you all for checking in this week and joining us. I will be back next week. And next week, we are going to talk about pets. Yes, the little felines and puppy dogs and all the other little four-legged creatures, the fur babies and other type of babies, baby goldfish too, that are great for us to have. So, when you come next week, let, I'm going to ask you to share a little bit about your pet. So, start thinking about something you want to tell me, tell the world about the pet. So next Thursday night, October 23rd, 23rd? Yeah, 23rd. I just did the math. We'll be back at 6 p.m. Central Time, and we'll be talking about the benefits of having a pet and what would be the best type of pet for those of us who are on the spectrum. And there may be a little bonus in there too. I'm kind of toying with the idea. I don't want to say what it is, but there could be a bonus, little fun facts, little comparison that you will enjoy. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not. I really would appreciate that. It will help the channel grow. At the beginning of tonight's video, we were at 296 subscribers. I'm trying to find out real quickly. Are we still 296? Yes, we are. So 296 is fine. We've been growing. I appreciate every one of you who have subscribed and support the channel. And if you have any questions before we wrap up, I will be here for a couple more moments, and then yeah, I'll be here for about 2 or 3 more minutes. Then we will wrap up. Let me do this here. I have an AI in front of me. So Alexa, what time is it? Okay, you can't hear her. I can hear her in my ears. But so I'll be here for about another 2 minutes. So if there's anything you want to ask or add in, it's time for you to make those comments. If not, that's no problem. Like I said, we'll be back next week. I got a video coming up Monday for Adult Autism 101. And that is going to be on ableism. We're going to be talking about ableism and what ableism looks like in the world of autism, because you probably have heard a lot of that in the disabled community, how it looks for, buildings that are not accessible, uh, buildings that don't have an elevator and have more than one floor and only have stairs. So, but we're going to talk about the ableism and barriers that we encounter as autistic adults. That will be on Monday. And we launched the first episode of the podcast, Live Confidently Autistic. It was a great conversation I had with Jess Charmo about career coaching for those that are neurodiverse professionals. So you want to check that out. It's in the on my YouTube channel. It's also available on Spotify and other podcast playing platforms. To learn more about where you can watch that video, you're going to want to go to liveconfidentlyautistic.com. I'm going to put that link into the chat, the live stream chat right now. There we are. And so you can easily click on that and it will give you all the places you can listen to that podcast. That's coming. We're not going to have a podcast episode next week. It's been hectic around here. But by November, they're going to be on a consistent basis. And there's some big things coming in 2026. I can't tell you what they are yet, but they're coming. So again, I am the Confident Autistic, and I'd like to thank you very much for joining me this evening for this live stream, and I'll see you next Thursday night. So until next time, I'm Chris Mitchell, aka the Confident Autistic, reminding you to rise above challenges and live confidently autistic.